Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Nick. If you're new here and you enjoy the video and you find it helpful, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, stay tuned for more content. I regularly do reviews of indie games, so if that's up your alley, then stick around. Today, we are taking a look at Ungeon. It is yet another roguelike indie game. I know, I'm covering a lot of indie roguelikes, but indie games seem to, they just love being roguelikes. I don't know what it is about it. But this one is by Jonas Dall. It was released today, October 30th. Fight your way through a cursed dungeon filled to the brim with undead enemies in hopes of finding your lost father, or at least your way out. Ungeon is a randomly generated dungeon crawler with a large focus on combat and exploration. Alright, so introductions and everything out of the way. Let's go ahead and take a look here at what exactly Ungeon is. What you're seeing here on screen is the start of the game. You wake up in your house, you go outside, you watch, I guess, what is your father leave on a boat? I don't know. The Steam page mentioned your father is missing. I can only assume that's what this is, because here is the first problem I have with the game, and that is that nothing is told to you. There are no text bubbles that pop up. There is no plot given to you. I have no clue what's going on. No clue whatsoever. And I actually ended up watching this cutscene and running around back and forth for 5 minutes because I didn't know where I was supposed to go. Turns out I was immediately supposed to go back into my house and go to sleep. Then after that, I ran out at nighttime and I missed a crucial item on the floor. Ended up running around again, had to go back into the house and pick it up, which is this magical key that you carry around with you that opens doors for you. And this key here is part of a very important game mechanic that you will encounter within the dungeon itself. Supposedly, your father is in this dungeon, I guess, and you're trying to save him, maybe? I don't know how, because he left on the boat, and now he's back on the island in the dungeon or something. I don't know. There's no plot. No one tells you anything. None of the game mechanics are explained. Now that you have your magical key artifact thingy, metronome thing, because it sits there and it ticks the whole time, by the way, but we'll get into that later, you can enter level 1 of the dungeon, at which point you will see that the combat is pretty simple. Most enemies die from one hit of your sword. They do about 1 hit of damage to you, and you can take about 3 hits before you die, okay? So most of this, you're running around, hitting them once, opening chests. There's a lot of different weapons and things, but I can't tell what the difference is. I'm assuming they do more damage than others. Most of the difference I could find was in the reach, and I wanted one that had more reach because then I could hit enemies from further away and be less likely to take damage. There's also armor you can find that negates some hits that you take and that sort of thing. And now I found out very quickly that this little ticking artifact up here in the corner, it's a timer, okay? And none of this is explained to you, and I'm still not 100% sure how it works, but I was thinking at first that it was this timer, and you went to these podiums that you found within the levels, and whenever you would go to them, it would turn the little ticker thing more green. It would make it green, which I thought added more time to you, but it didn't really. It didn't really add more time to you, and I would still die. Every time the timer runs out, this big freaking fast ghost man comes out and murders you. And I was getting so freaking confused by this, and I reached a point where I was done with the game. I was like, okay, it's not really that playable at all. And I went back to the Steam page to see if they said anything about how the mechanics worked, and I watched one of their promo videos, and I saw that at any point in your run, you can go back out the door you came in and go to the Temple of Permanence. And then that allows you to restart the run with all your armor and all your time back on the clock. And it was after I went back in and did this run that I found out, I think, that I wasn't just resetting the timer on the metronome by activating these podiums. I think I was permanently upgrading it, because at some point it just randomly turned gold. And then I was no longer able to activate podiums anymore, and now all of a sudden it lasted for a really long time. I have no clue. I don't know. Again, there's no tutorials, no nothing in this game. No backstory about where you are, the backstory about the artifact, the dungeon, your father, why he went missing. Nothing telling you what the weapons do damage-wise, what the armor does, the enemies, absolutely zero. It literally just drops you in and expects you to play it all. And some games can get away with having very little tutorial because a lot of their mechanics and things are self-explanatory. They're intuitive. But you can't have a game with these complex time mechanics and upgrade systems and whatever's going on here, I'm still not sure, and not have a tutorial. It's one or the other. Simplicity or a tutorial, okay? But I will say, once I upgraded my thing all the way and time was less of a concern, I started to have a little bit of fun. I was like, ooh, how far can I get? Yada, yada, yada. Ooh, I'm figuring out I can do a sort of a rolling dash attack now that I didn't realize I could do before. It was like learning the tech, learning spacing, and how to do all this kind of stuff. And it got fun. So what I have to say about this game is, please, developers, if you're listening, add some text boxes in. Maybe some backstory about your father. At the very least, some like wise spirit thing. Because at the beginning, there were all these ghosts bowing to you. Have a guide spirit who, through your first run, tells you things. Tells you what the artifact is. How this time mechanic works. Because I love the environments. They're beautiful. The sound design, I wish there was music. The only time a song kicks in is when you're about to die from the ghost thing, which just pisses you off anyway. That's what I have to say. Add in a tutorial. Add in something. Lord have mercy. Maybe some descriptions on the items to tell you which ones do more damage. What armor is better. You're kind of just looking at it thinking, well, this armor kind of looks like it's more armory than other armor. I'm still not sure if all armor is the same or not. I don't know. That's all I have to say about this, is this game seems like a very... It's like a portfolio of game mechanic ideas that someone is presenting, saying, hey, wouldn't this be cool in a game? But as it stands, this does not feel like a game itself. It's like a proof of concept. Needs a lot of work to bring it to a playable state. But as I say on these things all the time, if you like to support indie developers and this seems like something cool and you want to help fund it so that they hopefully keep giving it attention and turning it into a cooler game, go ahead and pick it up. It's $3.99, which isn't super expensive, but in its current state, you're not really paying that for a fully fleshed out game. You're paying that for an idea, something that shows you what a game could be. In its current state, it is nothing to keep you coming back over and over again. And it is kind of confusing. And that's all I have to say about that. I can't recommend it if you want a game that you're just going to sit down and it's going to be a full experience and you're going to play it and it is done. This is very much a work in progress. Then treat it like that, okay? And as always, if you liked the video, drop a like on it, okay? Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you're going to check out the game or if there's any other games you want me to check out, all right? As always, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.